Hey everybody, it's Al with cad-cam Wizard, and today we're going to go over a 3-axis undercut routine. So you can go to the website and download the demo files so you can follow along. Link will be in this video. So this is the geometry, or the basic geometry I use to create this file. Like always, I'm going to create a new layer and make it active. 3D extrude curve. We're going to select this, and this is going to be 4 inches down. Okay, so that gets us our first body. The next thing we want to do is we want to cut this cylinder out. Okay, so we're going to do an extrude cut. We'll select this one, and again, we'll define how deep it's going to go. And then we'll choose OK. So that cuts that shape out. Alright, the next thing we want to do is a revolve surface. Okay, so what I'm going to do is turn that layer off. Create a new layer for the revolve surface. We're going to go revolve. We'll select the curve that we want to work with. We're going to define the axis, okay? And that gives us our geometry. We'll choose OK and cancel. Alright, so this gives us the shape that we're looking for. From here, we can use this model or this surface to split the model. Okay, so we can go split. We're going to say split that body. Let's see if it'll let me turn it off. It won't let me turn it off. So I'm going to hit S to turn the shading off, W to show the UV lines. Let's see if it'll let me click through that. Yeah, it really is a little particular about some of its selection here. Okay, there we go. Looks like I got it. We're going to say OK. Alright, so now what we've done is split that portion of the body away. Looks like it put it on this layer here. What I want to do is just hide this piece, so I'm going to go to blank, select that body, and hide it. Okay, I'll hit S, W. Okay, so that's essentially the CAD stage. Extrude a square, extrude cut a boss or a hole, and then revolve a surface to give us the profile to drive on. Alright, now you can go through that with the DXF that's included in the downloaded file, or you can just open up the step file, which is what we have here. So there's two types of toolpaths that we want to look at. One is called Advanced Z-Level Finish, the other is called Flowline. So we'll get a job set up. It's going to be a 3-axis job. This is actually running on a CNC router. I believe it's a multi-head router. Not that that matters, but we'll get the job set up. The 0 position is fine. We're just going to blank out the stock. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is kind of rough out all this material. You could do it with a pocket. I'm just going to choose to do it with a Z-level rough. So I'm going to load in. I'm going to load in a 3-axis routine. I'm going to go ahead and select the body. So this is what we want to work with. Okay, this is just going to be a standard Z-level rough. Whatever size tool we want to work with. You know, however aggressive we're going to cut here. But essentially we just want to rough out the cavity so we can come back and do some finishing. As wood, maybe we leave more stock. I'm not sure how much we want to leave there. But let's go ahead and compute that. And that will take a moment to just rough out the material. Okay? The next thing that we want to do, other than adjust some display settings, is we want to use a Z-level finish toolpath to come in here and to target this area. So we've already selected all the geometry we need, so we can just add another operation here. So we're going to scroll down to Advanced Z-level Finish. Okay, so now we have a roughing routine, and then we have our Advanced Z-level Finish. Now, the tool type here, if we just use like an end mill or a ball end mill, it's not going to target those areas. Let's leave the 1/2" end mill in there. We're going to say undercut, which we'll find under options, undercut, and then we'll say machine only undercut. We're going to finish this because I don't want to recompute the other one, and I'm just going to right click on this one over here and hit compute. Now my expectation is for nothing to be generated, and the reason why is the tool doesn't support undercutting. It won't be able to reach it, so it's not going to cut that area. Now if we turn the only machine undercuts off, and I'm just going to recalculate it this time, so it's doing the roughing routine first and then it does the finish, you can see it will travel around the shape. But most importantly, you're going to see that it's not going to machine this undercut. It's just going to go where it can fit, and it doesn't have any tool features to be able to come in there and to cut from the side. So instead of that, what we want to do is come back to here and turn isolate undercuts on. And then for our tool section, we're going to change it from a 1/2" cutter to a T cutter. So we're going to go into our tool. We're going to go to our T cutter, okay? And you may or may not have the tool size that you need. Most of the time these are like O-ring groove cutters or cutoff tools, so they're thin. What we're going to do is create a new tool. So we'll just say create new tool. From here, we're going to just make it 1.5" T cutter. I don't actually remember the settings for the tool, so I'm just going to give it a name. I'm going to make this 1.5". We're going to make the flute length 1/2". We're going to make the corner radius 1/4 inch, and we'll click OK. So that's created our new tool. We're going to select it and choose OK. So now we have the right type of cutter. From here we're going to go ahead and recompute. Alright, you can see the tool path to work its way to come in here and to cut this shape. Alright, because it's an open shape, you can see it's coming in from the outside. It does kind of roll over the edge, which we may or may not want, but this will come in there and to machine that area and then work its way back. There are some different settings we could use to control how it links, but when it comes to the Mill Pro Advanced Z-Level Finish, you don't quite have as much control as you would with the surface-based strategies. The other thing you'll notice is as the slope of the surface starts to flatten out, you're going to see the scallops in the tool path start to increase. Okay, so that's just a quick example of undercutting with your 3-axis tool path, like a Mill Pro. And now we're going to look at doing the same surface but using Flowline, which is a surface-based strategy that a Mill Premium user or a 4 Pro, 5 Pro user would have. We're going to come down to Mill Multi-Axis. Okay, we're going to choose surface-based. This is going to be Flowline. We're going to choose Next. From here I'm going to go to the tool crib, and I should be able to grab this same cutter we've set up, so we'll select that one there. Alright, for our parameters, this is where we want to go in and define the cut. So for me, I want to make sure that it's in 3-axis. And then as far as our surface pass, we want to pick our drive surface. So that's going to be this surface here. Let me just finish this real quick. Let me refresh my view. Okay, let me edit this feature again. Parameters, drive surface. We're going to select the surface that we want to work with. So it's going to be this one. We're going to choose OK. Let's see, so this is set to 3-axis. Let's go ahead and just compute it and see what we get. Okay, so now we can see we get some toolpath to come along, and it does look very similar to the Advanced Z-Level Finish as it works its way out, but again, we don't see it rolling over the edge, and what we want to do is use some of the toolpath options in order to remove some of these rapids and also to extend out the toolpath. So first let's extend it out. We'll do that by double clicking on flow line, going to parameters. We're going to do extend and trim under the area section, and we're going to just make this 50% of the cutter, and we'll choose OK and recompute. So what that's done is extended the surface out so it's not trying to roll right in from the edge, giving us a little bit of clearance. The next thing I want to do is I want to control how it links between one side and the other. Right now it's going to clearance, and I would rather it just kind of blend from one side to the other. So let's double click on flow line. Let's go to parameters. We're going to go to links. Okay, this is a large move between slice, okay, or between passes. So we want to change this from rapid to clearance. We're going to just make this a blended spline, and then we'll recompute. All right, so now it changes the way that it connects there. All right, because we did the extension, we can make it so it extends out past the edge of the surface. And then for same thing for the lead in, you can see it starting down here and working its way out. So just a quick example of undercutting. Again, within the flow line, there are a bunch of advanced settings that you can use for surface quality. You can deal with point distribution in order to adjust how close the points are, toolpath smoothing when you're dealing with offsetting paths, you know, so you have a lot of fine control in here, among other settings, but in this example, it's the extend and trim to get it to start off the edge. Again, we can make this greater than the radius of the cutter so we know it's passed. Let's just make it 70%. It may not matter in this example because it's a wood product, but in general it's best to start and finish off the material. So we can use extend for that. And then the other option we used here is under linking. We're leaving all the defaults and just changing the large link move to a blended spline, so that way it connects the way that it does. We recompute, and again you can see it pushed out a little bit further and gives us a nice clean path. Now, we don't have to use a blended spline here. Some machines maybe don't want all that G code, so you could choose something maybe more like a direct. So if we go link, we could just say direct and recompute, and now my expectation is just a straight line across, so that would be less code, and again just a different approach for how you would handle this. If you guys have any questions, comments, or feedback, just reply back to wherever this video may be posted in. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you so much.